Okay, so this is the next video I wanted to show you here, and this is your three-step drop that you took early on in the session. This is what I call the rhythm throw, where you do not have any hitch in your drop. So first of all, let's kind of take a look. I'll let you go through fast, full speed here. Okay, so just breaking down the throw, or the drop rather. First we have the first step, what I call the reach step. This is where we want to gain as much distance from the line of scrimmage as possible while being under control. Pretty good first step here. Good push off from the left foot, good pivot and push. We definitely want to see that, what I call pivot and push out of the left foot, which is exactly what Zach is doing. Really good posture in his drop here. Eyes downfield, very relaxed ball carriage, very minimal movement. I would refer to that as a quiet football. Definitely good stuff there that we want to see. Crossover step looks good. We could probably even shrink down that crossover step a little bit more, and I'll explain why in a second. But with the rhythm drop, with a three-step rhythm or even a five-step rhythm, our goal is to be able to land our plant foot and it immediately become our drive foot. And what you'll see here is we're really going to focus on the balance and the weight shift. Okay, so Zach is dropping 1, 2, and now you see he puts his plant foot back here. Okay, landing back here. And what that does is now watch his entire body kind of sits and recoils on that back leg. And now all of his weight is essentially kind of back and tilted. And now once he goes to throw forward, he's not able to transfer that weight into any kind of productive power. Essentially, he's just sort of standing back straight up, and his power is, as you can see, the push-off is really just very minimal and it's straight up. Whereas ideally we want to try to get that drive going more towards the target off that drive knee. So we want that plant foot to land, and we want to think drive knee, longer stride, and then brakes to really maximize our power. So the way that we want to do that, if we go back again, alright, so our reach step is good. Now, this is where on the second step I like to teach a slight counter lean. So we can start to lean our body forward just a little bit to counterbalance our momentum while we're landing step 2. So you see how he's almost jumping step 2? We can get step 2 on the ground right here. In the three-step drop, we're not really concerned with distance except for step 1. The reach step is the only step that we want to gain depth and distance. After that, it's basically big, little, or kind of a big push-off step, and then it's quick crossover, quick plant, and balls out. So if he was to shorten that crossover right now, he's not going to pick up as much momentum as he does here. So now our goal is, again, assuming we crossed over with a smaller step, and we have a little bit less of this angle. You can see the angle that he has with his body. There's a bad line, sorry. This angle with the body, it's pretty severe. So we want to think a little bit more control in step 2 so that step 3 can be more controlled as well. Ideally, you want to land that third step coming off the crossover right, almost right next to your crossfoot. I refer to it as replacing the crossfoot. That's how close you want it. And the idea is to keep your body inside of your foot, but just barely inside, almost like your foot wants to be underneath your shoulder. If you keep the foot underneath of your shoulder, you've got much better balance. But right now, with the angle that we have, with the angle of his body, when that plant foot lands, the whole body now begins to shift back over that foot. And that shift in it is basically taking all your momentum and throwing it backwards where we're trying to throw the football forward. So the key to the three-step drop is, yes, there's speed involved, and yes, there's gaining depth, but those are most important on step 1. After that, it all comes down to balance and control, because we never want to sacrifice speed for balance in the throw. And you can see how he gets completely on top of the foot as a result of this. So this is something that takes a lot of time to really grasp, the rhythm throw. And we start to combine the mechanics that we've talked about with a drop like this, and things start to really come together much more. But that's the one thing I like to point out with the three-step. Is, really good first step here. Shrink that crossover. It's all about now slowing your momentum so that you do not create backwards momentum. We want to think balance. So we want to think about almost starting to settle here, and it becomes 2-3. Chop, chop, ball is out. So cross, plant becomes drive foot, and let that stride foot skate away from our body a little bit. Hips want to stay back, and now we get drive, brakes, rev ray squeeze, and that thing comes out just like we want it. So there's a look at the three-step drop freight one more time. We'll go full so you can see that come together. Okay.